What's up, Revivalists? How's it going? Simon here from CD Revival. Hope you're all well. Hope you've all had a great Christmas. Sorry it's been a little while since I did my last video, but obviously, you know, busy this time of year, etc, etc, etc. So I thought I'd come back and do a CD collection update today. Been going through them a bit, and I'm currently up to L. So today I'm going to do CDs start with artists, CDs with artists that start with L, and just go through a few bits and pieces. Get back into the swing of things, and hope you like it. Don't forget to, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel. It's all very helpful. Yeah, we'll get on with that. So first one in L's band, I've got a few of their bits. Life of Agony, early 90s, big. I really enjoyed these. First album, probably my favourite of theirs, heaviest one. This River Runs Red, standard broken CD thing. But yeah, really awesome album, this one. Really heavy, quite dark and depressing, to be honest with you, but not too bad. This one's got a few bonus tracks on it, a few live ones, like Through and Through Live. Through and Through is probably one of the best tracks on here. This Time, Underground, all really cool tracks. Method of Groove, yeah, so really good stuff on here. So yeah, really good album. This one came out in 94, I think, by the looks of it, if my eyes do not deceive me. So yeah, a bit later than I thought, but yeah, really cool album, really good band. Second album, Ugly, and this one comes in like a tin. So yeah, this one not quite as good as the first one, but still pretty cool. Comes with like the booklet inside. Quite unique packaging on this one. But yeah, some good stuff. Lost at 22 is a really cool song. Let's Pretend is really good. I Regret as well. It's got a cover of Don't You Forget About Me on there as well, and also a cover of like the Bob Marley song Redemption Song. But yeah, so that's Ugly, and that one from 1995, I think. Soul Searching Sun. My Mind Is Dangerous, probably the standout track on this one. But yeah, some good stuff on there as well. So not quite as good once again as the first two. Still a fairly decent album. So that's that one there, Soul Searching Sun. Then this one, which I'm less familiar with, Broken Valley. Need to give that a few more listens, to be honest with you, because I've not listened to that a massive amount. But yeah, that's that one there. And then sort of greatest hits, if you like, so 1989 to 1991. Collection of rare demos recorded prior to River Runs Red. Hard to find B-sides, so some pretty cool stuff on there. Actually got a cover of March of the SOD and Sergeant D and the SOD on there. It's got Redemption Song, which obviously featured on the Ugly one as well. So yeah, pretty cool. And then Life of Agony, unplugged at the Lowlands Festival in 97. Broken, you get the point. So yeah, pretty cool stuff on there as well. So mainly unplugged. Just some, yeah, their hits on there. Next, I've got a couple of albums by the band Love Hate. Really big in the sort of late 80s, really, I think. Kerrang were like really big on these at the time. I think this one came out in 1990 actually, so yeah, very late 80s. Yeah, 1990 this one came out. Really cool, sort of sleazy, glammy. Was featured, I think, in my top 10 glam albums, which you can check out on my channel. First album, Blackout in the Red Room, really cool. I say massive like darlings of Kerrang back in the day. They really rated them, and to be honest with you, they were a great band. The title tracks were superb. Rock Queen's great. Fuel to Run's a really cool one. One More Round. She's an Angel, probably my favourite song on there. But yeah, straight up rock and roll pretty much on this one. Very short, punchy tracks, super catchy, really good. And I've got their second album, Wasted in America, which is a bit more psychedelic. Still some pretty good rock tracks on it. Still a really good album. Not quite straight up as their first one, as far as like, you know, basic, like simplistic, but yeah, so Wasted America, title track, Spit's really cool. Miss America, probably my favourite track on here. Yucca Man's really cool. But yeah, it's a little bit more trippy, a little bit more going on this one. But yeah, still a really cool album, well worth listening to. Wasted in America, really do enjoy this one. This one came out in 1992, so 2 years later. Well worth a check out. First album from Living Colour, Vivid. Vernon Reid on guitar, amazing guitar player. Really shreds it up. This one came out in 1988. Slightly different, bit funky, but yeah, still like shred it up. Cult of Personalities, obviously a really famous song. Things like Open Letter to a Landlord, Memories Can't Wait, it's really cool. Yeah, Which Way to America, really good. Middleman, I Want to Know, all really cool tracks. Actually, really takes me back to that time in my life. But yeah, superb album. First album, Vivid. And I've also got their second album, Time's Up, which carries on in a similar vein. 18 tracks on this one. It's got a few bonus tracks on it, a couple of live ones as well. But yeah, equally good, to be honest with you. First track, Time's Up, absolutely really heavy. Love Riz's Ugly Head was like the really big single at the time. But yeah, Information Overload's really cool. Solace of Use, quite a cool track as well. But yeah, well worth checking out. Time's Up by Living Colour, that's their second album. Yeah, really cool album. Good band. I've got Bad by LL Cool J. Bigger and Deffer stands for, you can see there. Probably not his best album. That's probably, I don't know, Radio's really good and Mama Said Knock You Out, but I don't have them. But yeah, this one's pretty cool. Do like this one as well. Yeah, some really cool tracks on this one. It has got I Need Love on it, which is probably the worst one he's ever done, but still really cool. Last Action Hero soundtrack album. Had to get this just because of some really cool stuff on here that's not available on any of their albums. Alice in Chains, like What the Hell Have I, for example, and A Little Bitter, they're both really cool tracks. Queensryche's on here, Real World. Megadeth doing Angry Again. AC/DC Big Gun. Two Steps Behind by Def Leppard. Anthrax Poison My Eyes. It's got Aerosmith doing Dream On. Everyone's got that anyway. Tesla, Cypress Hill, Cock the Hammer, Fishbone as well. That's the full track listing. But yeah, well worth checking out. One of the best sort of like metal soundtracks, just because of the tracks that are on there are not available on a lot of other stuff. So yeah, that's a really cool album, well worth checking out. Going to Limp Bizkit now. A lot of people hate Limp Bizkit. Their first album, $3 Bill Y'all, I think is a really good album. Yeah, a lot of really cool stuff on there. Counterfeit's an amazing track. Pollution's really cool. Yeah, some really like pretty heavy, decent album, I think. The first album, well worth a listen, I think. Mixed by Andy Wallace, produced by Ross Robinson and the band. But yeah, not a massive fan of a lot of new metal. I say people hate Limp Bizkit just because of Fred Durst mainly, but you know, you can't deny that Wes Borland is a great guitarist. They had some great riffs. They've done some good tracks. So that's their first album. Second album, Significant Other. Don't quite enjoy as much as the first one, but still got some good bits on there as well. Like Break Stuff, for example. Nookie, obviously, Rearranged, things like that. So yeah, a decent album as well. Significant Other. This one obviously went massive. Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavoured water. Once again, some great riffs on here, you know, things like My Generation's really cool. My Way's a really cool track. Obviously Rolling, and the one from Take a Look Around from Mission Impossible as well. Boiler, I think, is a really cool track. Yeah, just a lot of really good tracks on here, to be honest with you. if you don't like Limp Bizkit, you won't like it, but I think it's, you know, unfairly criticised because it has got some great riffs and some really cool tracks on it. Then I've got the Eat Me Alive single, which was from their Results May Vary album, and that's probably the best song on that album. It's the album itself, which I don't have, is definitely their weakest, not very good at all. That's the Eat You Alive single. I've got the Unquestionable Truth Part 1, which is they did when Wes Borland came back, so obviously he left for the Results May Vary album. This one I quite like, it's pretty decent, 7 tracks on there, pretty heavy, once again, good album I think. And they're not their most recent one, because their most recent one didn't even come out on CD, it's only for streaming, which I think is a bit, you know, whack. But this one, Gold Cobra, which is the one that came before that, I think it's like maybe 2012 or something like that. And I think this one's not too bad, I think it's quite decent. It's better than Results May Vary, Bring It Back, Gold Cobra, yeah, things like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Stupid, standard Limp Bizkit stupidness, but yeah, not a bad album, it's okay. I've also got Liquid Tension Experiment, which is some of the guys from Dream Theater, so Petrucci, Portnoy, Jordan Rudess. It's yeah, it's just a good, yeah, not too bad. I've not really listened to it a lot, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a massive Dream Theater fan, but I do respect what they do. But yeah, that's that one. Picked this one up at a charity shop. It was like 3 for £1, and I'd seen 2 that I wanted, and then I was like, oh, I might as well get this. Linkin Park's first album, Hybrid Theory. It's the only one of theirs I've got, and I remember at the time I thought it was okay. I haven't listened to it since I still got it, but yeah, it's got all the sort of One Step Closer on it and Crawling and etc, etc. Some people really love Linkin Park. I never really have loved them. I think this one was okay, and I think Meteora was alright as well, but I'm not their biggest fan. I literally picked it up because, you know, I needed another one to get my 3 for £1 in the charity shop. Lonely Island, Incredibad. Lonely Island, quite comical. Yeah, I don't mind some of them. I think they're quite funny. This one's got the classic tracks, including what has this one got on it? Jizz in My Pants, which is hilarious. I'm on a Boat, which I think is a really cool, funny track. Yeah, they're probably the pick of them. What else have we got on here? Yeah. Turtleneck and Chain's probably the sort of slightly better album, I think. But yeah, still, it's a funny album. It's sort of like comedy, hip hop, really. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I've got Level 42, Running in the Family, which has got some cool stuff on it from back in the day. This one came out in 1987, this one. And it's got obviously Lessons in Love, the title track as well. It's pretty cool. Mark King on bass, really good bass player. So that's a cool one from the late 80s. Lil Wayne, who I think is a bit hit or miss. I think this album is actually quite good. The Carter 4. Yeah, he's a bit of a donut, obviously, but yeah, things like 6 Foot, 7 Foot, and John featuring Rick Ross, I think is really cool. She Will with Drake on there as well. Not a bad album. When this first came out, I did actually really enjoy it. I thought I gave it a lot of listens. I think it's all right, man. It's pretty cool. Frankie Lane, got this from a charity shop once again. Mule Train. My dad used to listen to Frankie Lane all the time when I was a kid, so when I saw this for cheap, I thought, yeah, it's got Cool Water on it and stuff. Gunfight at the OK Corral. Just old school, like country and western, like with a, you know, cowboy theme. He's looking pretty badass there, to be fair. So that's that one. A couple from The Last Shadow Puppets, which is Alex Turner's sort of side project from the Arctic Monkeys. You know, if you've watched any of my stuff, I'm a big Arctic Monkeys fan. Age of the Understatement's their first album. Him and Miles Kane, basically. So yeah, that's a pretty cool album, retro sound to it. And their second album, Everything You've Come to Expect, and that's a really good one also, even more retro. And there's Turner and his buddy. So that is that, and then the last of it, I've not done my Led Zeppelin stuff in here because I've done the Led Zeppelin ranking and I get sick of showing things twice, to be honest with you. So if you want to see what Led Zeppelin stuff I've got, check out my Led Zeppelin ranking video, it's all there. The last band I've got albums from are LA Guns. This is their first album, just self-titled. Really, really cool. Listen to this. I had this on cassette back in the day. Used to listen to it on my Walkman all the time. This one came out in 1988, so similar sort of time when Appetite for Destruction was blowing up and everyone sort of was trying to get into that whole scene. But yeah, some really great tracks on here. No Mercy, Sex Action, One More Reason, Electric Gypsy, Hollywood Tease is really cool as well. Shoot for Thrills. Superb first album, really liked that one. Cocked and Loaded, second album. It's a little bit, yeah, more involved, better production on this one. It's got more sort of complicated song structures to a degree. This one came out in 1989, so a year later. Rip and Tear is a really cool track. Sleazy Come Easy Go is really cool. It's got the Ballad of Jane on here, which was like probably like a really famous track as well, like sort of a ballad basically, hence the title Ballad of Jane. But yeah, good album. Had this on vinyl back in the day. Cocked and Loaded. Third album, Hollywood Vampires, had this on vinyl as well. And yeah, really, I do really enjoy this one. It's broken, but whatever, what isn't. Once again, a little bit more ambitious on this one. Over the Edge to start off with, really cool. First few tracks are like amazing, really. Some Life for Love I really like, super catchy. Kiss My Love Goodbye, super, super catchy. Here It Comes, Crystallize, Wild Obsession. Possibly my favourite LA Guns album, this one, to be honest with you. I do really like it. Produced by Michael James Jackson, who did Kiss Creatures of the Night as well. Yeah, really cool album, well worth checking out. Third album, Hollywood Vampires. Fourth album, Vicious Circle. This one came out when grunge had hit, so it was kind of a bit like they'd tried something a little bit more in that vein. So yeah, it didn't really work for me. I think it's an okay album, but it's not great. It's not anywhere near the sort of quality of their first three. So yeah, not particularly fantastic, but you know, worth a listen. Vicious Circle. And then the last one I have got is Devil You Know. This is a more recent one. This one came out God knows when, like 2016 or something, maybe slightly later than that. You can correct me if you like. And this one's pretty decent as well. Got some good catchy stuff on it. You know, the classic logo, etc. But yeah, really cool, pretty cool album. Back to sort of their sort of traditional sound as well. So Devil You Know, really decent album. And that's it for L. That is my L's done. So apart from Zeppelin, which you can check out on its own special video. And now we're just going to be going into the M and Mega ranking. So as I've explained before, Megadeth, Metallica, probably do Metallica first because I think it's going to be the easiest one. Motorhead, Manson, probably Machine Head, and just all the other M's. There's a lot of stuff in M, to be honest with you. It takes up a fair few shelves. So yeah, do all the M's, then into N, which is going to be Nine Inch Nails mainly. Here's a massive discography of theirs. Well, not massive, but you know, that's going to be the biggest one. Maybe Nirvana, but they didn't really do a lot, to be honest with you. They only did, what, 3 proper albums and another, you know, 1, but with B-sides and unreleased tracks, which is probably my favourite one out of all of them. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. It's going to be like months away with all the M crap. So yeah, I hope you all have a great new year. I'll try and post again very soon, probably early next week, I would imagine. Yeah, thanks for sticking with the channel. So please, if you've not subscribed already, please do so. I'll catch you all next time. Have a great new year, everyone. and I'll see you next year. Cheers. Take care. Bye bye.